Good morning, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me. I hope you can. I'm just getting set up here to make sure that I have got everyone in here. Just give me 1 second. If any of you know me, and I know a lot of you do, I am so not the technology person, so I have to kind of yield to the ones that are. So just give me 1 sec. I'm going to make sure that I get onto our page here. Okay, I'm not seeing us, so just give me a second. Here we go. Yay, there I am. Oh, look it. And I'm seeing morning and good morning, Diane. So I am here. Give me a sec. Where did it go? It just disappeared on me. Oh my goodness. Oh, there we go. There we are. Oh, look at that. How exciting. Like I say, if you know me at all, I am definitely not the technology whiz. My boys will tell you that. I call them all the time about probably absolutely stupid things. But anyways, that's the way that it goes. So I can see you. I can see your comments. I'm just giving it a second just to make sure that I am getting some eyes on. I see they're counting up here. So we will just give it a couple of minutes. These are my cards that we are going to be working on today. This was a very fun kit, kind of very for the times at the moment with fall upon us. It is a beautiful fall here in British Columbia. Today especially, the sun is just shining and it is gorgeous. I think we're in for some rain over the weekend, but we also need that as well. But it is just absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite times of year, fall. So yeah, so I'm going to get started pretty quick here because we're just after 10. So we'll probably get started just so you have the information. Like I say, most of the time, a lot of you watch and then maybe just have a cup of coffee and watch along and then do it afterwards. So that's absolutely perfect. As you know from the other ones that I have done, I always have written instructions. They will be posted here while I'm doing the card. And then, of course, I will post them afterwards as well with the card samples. So you'll get that. I also have a couple of inspiration cards that I will post probably by the weekend. I always like to leave them a little bit of time, but I do have a couple of inspiration cards and instructions for those as well. So you'll also get that information along the way too. So anyways, why don't we get started? We're going to work on this first little guy here. So this one was interesting. It started out just kind of being a little tent card. And then I thought, you know what? Why couldn't we make this into kind of a something that you could use for photos or journaling? So it's not technically a card. If you tried to set it up, it probably would fall over just because it is quite heavy on the top. But I have been able to open it wide enough that it will sit. But it is, I just thought it was kind of a fun idea. And I will show you something that is just the love of my life. So the idea is that this would be a card that would open just like this for you to put photos or whatever on this side. Here's your place here for doing your journaling or your writing or your sentiment to whoever you're giving it to. And then this little flap that we're going to work on too has a photo, and this is the love of my life. This is my little grandson Max, and he is just my whole little heart at the moment. So anyways, I thought this would be fun. You could also put a photo up here too. So it's kind of a neat idea. I thought maybe even with the holidays, because you could hide different photos or journaling or all kinds of things that you want to put in there. So anyways, let's get started on this guy. So for most of my cards today, except for a very little bit, we are basically going to work out of the card making set that you were given. So you were given this card making set, and then you were also given one of each of, I believe it was 16 papers. I can't remember exactly, but everybody got one sheet of all of the papers as well. So some of them were duplicated. So what I decided, I would just work out of the box as much as I could. That way this was freed up for Courtney and that as well. So that, because I'm never sure with her crafty hour, I never want you to be short on a paper that she may use. So I worked out of the card making kit more than anything else. So that's how we did this one. So let me grab my instruction sheet. Like I say, I will put it up here on the side so that you're able to see it. Move it down a little bit so you can see it. There we go. And you can always blow it up, I'm sure, with your phone or your laptop or whatever afterwards as well. But all of the step-by-step directions are here with all the dimensions too. So you've got that as well. And I'll just put my little hey there pumpkin up there to the side. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're in your box. You had these awesome 6x6 craft cards, which are absolutely perfect. They have such a nice weight to them as well. And that's what, again, sort of got me into the thought of being able to put a fold over or something on the top of it because it would be sturdy enough. So they're a really nice weight, probably 110 pound. So what I started with was just one of them. We'll start with one and then we'll do the little flap afterwards. And I did ask you in homework to grab some dark brown paper. Whatever dark brown paper you had, you could use black, you could do more of an orangey color, whatever you want to do. Again, totally up to you. That's the nice thing about Crafty Hour. You do not have to do exactly as we do. We just give you ideas and you can run with them. So this one is that I used for, I believe, almost all of the cards was the Basil Bitter Chocolate. So it is a really nice brown, dark enough, but not so dark that it almost looks black. So we were going to start off by taking your piece. And if you have 8.5 by 11, no problem. You'll have enough. No, that's not a worry. I just worked with the 12 by 12 because that's what we had it in store. I am also using the new Spellbinders trimmer, which I am absolutely loving. It's fabulous. I love the fact that I have my scoring blade and my trimmer blade in the same thing. So I'm always, when I work with my Fiskars one, which I love and which I use, I always am trying to find my little black scoring blade. This is great. It keeps the two of them there for me. And I find the dimensions and everything on it really easy to read in that too. So let's open this guy up. I'll move this over just a tiny bit. There we go. You can still see it. Good. And we'll just kind of prop this one up here for now. Bring it in. There we go. Okay, so what you want to start with then is, and we're going to do it because this is also going to go on the inside. So we're going to work with the cover, but we may as well do both pieces at the same time, and we'll just set them aside. So if you want to cut 2 of the dark brown pieces, and you're going to cut those to 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. And as you know, 5 7/8 is just short of the 6. So it's not 5 3/4. It's between 5 3/4 and 6. So 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. Whoops, I don't need my scoring blade. Stick that guy up there. There we go, 5 7/8. Oh, for heaven's sake, what are we doing here? Oh, that's why I'm so used to the Fiskars one being the darker one, and it's not on this guy. The gray is. So 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So obviously, if you were going to do multiples of these, you'd be able to get 4 out of a 12 by 12 piece of paper, 4 of the cuts. 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. Okay. And then we're going to take the gingham, which is this kind of tan, golden color gingham paper that, again, you have 2 sheets of it in your box, in your card box, and you're going to cut this to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So just a little bit down from that brown. So 5 3/4. 5 3/4. Go. Rid of my scrap. And we may as well do the one that we're going to use on the inside too at the same time. Like I say, it just saves time. You're getting both of them done. 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay, so that's going to form your base. So that's going to form the piece here that has Max on top of. That is your base. That's going to go on the front of your brown craft card. Okay, so you can take one of the gingham and one of the brown, just set it off to the side just for a second, because we'll work with that in a minute to go on the inside. So we've done that. And then for the cover, we're going to attach these 2 pieces together with either your tape runner, your glue, whatever you like to use, double-sided tape. We're just going to glue it flat. It's not going on with foam or anything. So just add a little bit of glue. And come on, brand new bottle. It should come out just quick. There we go. So excited we have this glue back in again. My absolute favorite. Works so well. Okay, so you're going to take your gingham piece and you're going to attach it to your brown. Just like that. So as you can see, you have a very tiny little border around the outside. I work a lot in the 8ths. I just like to have at least a little bit of a border, but nothing too wide. So okay, so that's what you've done. You've done the 2 of those. And now we're going to attach this to the card base. And the card base does open this way. So it's opening horizontal. And we're going to attach it to your card base with foam tape. If you want it flat, go ahead and make it flat. I just like to have some dimension when I do it. So I will use a little bit of foam tape and put it on that way. So this first one is the one that's going to take the longest time, and then the other 2 are very quick. But if we run out of time, like I say, the nice thing is I always have my instructions printed, and they would be posted as well. But we should be totally fine. I have a couple of little things to show you at the end as well. So just add your foam tape. You could use pop dots, you could use, like I say, or if you want to have it flat, totally fine. I do like to have some dimensions. So, okay, so we're going to take that now. I've put my foam tape on it, and we're just going to attach that to the card base. And again, because this is 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, and your card base is 6 by 6, you're having a very tiny little border. So it's pretty well covering up the whole thing, but it gives you that little bit of a border on the outside. There we go. So just like that. Okay, now we're just going to set that off to the side, and we will come back to that guy. And we're going to grab our other craft card, the other 6 by 6. Everybody's doing okay? Let me just make sure. I don't think I have anything here. Hope everyone's following around okay. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now you're going to take this card that we have here, and we are going to turn it so you have, so it's like a tent card. So you've got the fold up at the top. So don't cut it this way or you're not going to be able to do the little flappy guy. So let's make sure that you've got it as the tent. So you've got your fold up at the top of the card, and you're going to cut it 4 1/4 inches wide. Okay, so right now it's 6 by 6, and you are going to cut it to 4 1/4. Okay, everybody's okay? So just like that. So it's just going to be a skinnier tent. Just like that. Okay. And then we're going to take a little bit off the bottom as well. We're going to make it 5 1/2 inches long instead of the 6 by 6. That way you have this little bit of gingham showing through when we attach it to your card base. Okay. So 5 1/2 inches. You're going to cut that guy at. Just like that. Okay. Everybody's okay? Everybody's following along? I'm trying to watch. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm getting... Seems to be the same messages. So I'm not sure if I'm getting messages. Oh, I have a thumbs up. So that's awesome. Anybody have questions, please ask. And hopefully I'll see them. Okay, so now we are going to grab another sheet, or actually you still have, if you're working with 12 by 12, you still have a piece of your brown, your dark brown cardstock. And we are going to cut 2 pieces of this now. All right, so we're going to cut it to 4 1/8. So again, not 4 1/4, just between the 4 and the 4 1/4. Go to 4 1/8 on your handy dandy trimmer. Okay, so 4 1/8. And we are going to cut it the other way, 5 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. So it's just under 5 1/2. So 5 3/8. And you can cut 2 of them because again, we're going to use it on the inside. May as well cut them and just stick them to the side, and then they're ready to go. Okay, so you've got 2 pieces that are just like that. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, so we're just sort of stockpiling our little pieces at the moment, which is good. Then you're going to take your leaf paper, which I love this leaf paper, and you are going to use the 2 sheets. Okay, so you're going to cut one of them, or you're going to do 4 inches. So 4 exactly. So you have a strip. I would keep that. I don't think I used it on one of my other cards, but that's a big enough strip that you'd be able to use it on a side of a card for sure. So hang on to that piece for sure. And then 5 1/4. Okay. Everybody's doing okay? Not going too fast, I hope. I don't think I am seeing... I'm still getting the same messages for some bizarre reason. I don't know. Oh, maybe not. Okay, we will see. Okay, so anyway, so cut 2 of them like that. So the leaf paper, again, these were the 2 pieces that were out. Oh, good. Thank you, Leslie Ann, for letting me know all is good. Repeat measurements for flower paper. For the leaf paper, probably that's what you're talking about, Lana. The leaf paper, the measurement is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And the nice thing is that it's an all over print, so it doesn't really matter which way, you know, I'm not telling you to start at a top or anything like that. But again, you're going to be left with this strip. Hold on to it. So you can cut the 2 of them right now just so that we have it set aside to be able to do the inside too. Okay, so you've got your 2 pieces of the leaf paper, and the leaf paper is, so Barbara, I hope you heard it as well. It's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Okay, and it does, like I say, it doesn't matter because it's an all over print. So you're good to cut the 2 of them, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we're going to take our 2 brown pieces that we just cut a couple of minutes ago, and we are going to glue our leaf papers onto that. And again, you can see that there's a very small border on the outside, but it does finish it nicely when you put the brown on there too. So just grab your glue and you can go ahead and you can do both. You can do one, you can do the other one when we get to the inside, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to quickly do both of them so that they're ready to go. And I could have done the same with the gingham one too, but that's okay. We'll do it when we get inside the card. So just put it on again with your glue, just flat. I think a little foam, I think would be a little bit too much to do foam and then foam again, but if you just glue it together or use your tape runner, whichever works the best for you. And you, like I say, you may as well just do both of them at the same time. Everybody's okay. I am getting better at reading messages, I think. I should be by now, right? Okay. So we have those ready to go. We're going to use one on the outside. We're going to use one on the inside. And they are good to go. Okay, so what we're going to do now is you're going to take the piece that you've glued together and you're going to attach it to the front of your card that we have cut. And make sure it's, again, this way, that it's a tent card. We're going to do it straight up like this. And I attached this with foam tape just to give it a little bit more of a dimension. Again, if you'd prefer it flat, go for it, whichever you'd prefer. I do like having some dimension for sure. This is definitely not a card unless you were going to grab a bubble envelope. I don't think this would really be a mailer card, but totally could go into a bubble envelope and send it to somebody. I just think it's such a fun little idea, and especially if you were sending it to somebody over the holidays or a get well card or something. My mom, if you send her give her pictures of Max, that is the brightest thing in her life, I tell you. She just loves to have any pictures of him, and I know so many people would as well. Family pictures, baby pictures, anything. It would just be a fun little keepsake for them too. Okay, so I've put my foam tape on the back of that, and I'm going to attach it. Again, there's going to be a very tiny border. So it just kind of works into place, and you can stick it down. And I think I did. You can do your, oh, we'll just do, okay, let's just do our cover at the moment. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just do the cover. We'll just keep our other piece off to the side, just like we have our gingham one off to the side. That's going to be for our inside. Stick it up there right now. Okay, everybody's doing okay. We're all good. We're all up to date, I hope. Good. Okay, so now let's grab our card, our original card that we have. Okay, and mine is kind of creased in the middle, but that's okay. It'll work. It's good for this. Okay, so you're taking it and you want to make sure your card is opening this way. Okay, so you're opening it horizontally. And what we're going to do is we're going to take your flap and you're just going to put it over top. And you can, however much of it you want. If you want it in the center, go for it. I kind of did it to the side just so that I had a little bit more of this border on the outside. And you could decorate this border. You have so many die cuts in this kit. It's incredible. Between the little pack of die cuts that came in the card kit, as well as the Simple Stories ones, you've got a ton of die cuts. So you could always put some things down here as well, or embellishments, whatever you wanted to do if you want to leave that strip. I just thought it looked nice to have that off to the side. Okay, so we're going to have it just like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to open this up and we're going to put glue here, so that this is just going to be attached with glue on the inside, or your tape runner or whatever. I would just do it flat. And then that way that forms our little flap to be able to decorate and put our photo underneath. Okay, so grab your glue and just put glue all around. One of the questions we get asked all the time is this glue, which is, again, a favorite of so many of you. The bottles are white now. They used to be clear. The glue is still clear, so you don't have to worry about that at all. It's just obviously probably the packaging was less expensive maybe to do it in white, but it is still a clear glue, and it is, like I say, one of my favorites. Okay, so I just kind of press it down to make sure that it's completely level with the top of the card and give it a good press on. And that has formed our little flap. Okay, just like that. So that the card still opens and that's opening up like that. Okay, so now what you can do is we're going to do the inside of the card. You've already got your piece. We've already cut it. We've already glued it together. And we're just going to stick it in the inside. And again, I did it flat just because I think it would be too much bulk if you used foam tape. But again, totally up to you. So you can just put some more glue on there. There we go. And we'll just stick that on here. And I find it easier, like if I've already attached that, then I know I'm getting this exactly where I want it. You obviously don't want to touch the fold, so the fold comes over. Just put it on like that. And that is good to go. There is our little, there's our base. Fun, hey? I was really happy with it. Like I say, it was kind of a, oh, hold on, I didn't expect this, but it kind of turned out well. I was happy with it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's decorate the top card. So we're going to decorate this part here where I have the Hey There Pumpkin, which I asked you to pull out of the kit. And these die cuts, we kind of put these die cuts, I put them onto a sheet just because there were so many die cuts to go through them all. It's hard for you to decide. But again, if you don't want to use these die cuts, you want to use more, you want to use less, again, go for it, whichever you want to use, because there are a lot to choose from. So we're going to decorate the top card. So let's grab the Hey Little Pumpkin. So what it says, Hey There Pumpkin. Okay, so we're going to grab the Hey There Pumpkin die cut, which is this one here. And we're just going to cut it down a little bit because I didn't want it to take up so much room. If you want to keep it the way it is, you can as well. But I just cut it down a bit. So what I'm going to do, I'll tell you exactly how I cut it, just so that you have it on each side. So you have it kind of matchy. You don't have so much taken off one side. So I took the Hey There Pumpkin piece. I cut it at 3 1/4 inches. So put it up against your trimmer and cut it at 3 1/4 inches. So you're cutting it off the right side of the pumpkin. Okay, so 3 1/4. That took a little strip off. Okay, and then if you turn it upside down and cut it to 3 inches, that way we have the same dimension on either side. Okay, so you've got the same amount of the gingham, so it keeps it matchy, which is good. Okay, and then we're going to grab another little piece of our cardstock. You probably need another sheet, or you may have enough on the strip. I'm just going to grab another sheet of my dark brown. Or if you're working with your 8 1/2, you probably have a piece as well. So you're going to just cut a tiny little brown mat, and that is 3 1/8 by 2 1/2. So again, 3 1/8, not quite 3 1/4, 3 1/8 by 2 1/2. Gives you like a rectangle piece, just like that. And just mat your little Hey There Pumpkin and just stick it together with glue. So again, flat, because we'll put it on, no, I put it actually flat onto the card too, just because, again, dimension wise, I wanted the dimensions to kind of be in my die cuts rather than in this in the sentiment. That's the other thing. If you don't want to use the Hey There Pumpkin and you want to use a nice stamp set you have, or one of the dies that is like a word die or something, you could do that as well. So many endless possibilities. So now we've matted that just like that. Okay, so we can just keep that to the side, because what we're going to do is we're going to build our little die cut corner here, and then this little guy can just tuck in. We'll put glue on it and you can just tuck it inside. So the die cuts that I asked you to pull, and again, you don't have to use these die cuts. Let me just grab them over here. But these were the ones that I kind of thought worked well as a layer. Okay, so we had the oak leaf, we had this leaf, we had this leaf, this one, oh, actually the other way, this one, and then the bigger one down here, and then the little birdie, and this little guy I tucked in the top. Okay, so let's just build it. I used pretty well almost all glue except for the little birdie and the flower. So that was, oh, you're funny, Frida. It was actually CTV back then, and I appreciate that. I used to, at one time, do a little crafting segment on CTV, and it was really fun. I really did enjoy it, but it was a long way to go for a very short segment, let me tell you. I was up at like 4 in the morning, but I appreciate that, Frida. That's funny. Okay, so I guess there's actually 2 ways of doing this. You can kind of decide where you want to have your Hey There Pumpkin and then build this, or you can build it and attach it. I kind of just sort of did it from about, I don't know, 1.5 inches, something like that, up from there. So what I started with is I started with this small leaf and just put a little bit of glue on it and kind of built it to the side. And I had it coming off the card itself. So just like that. Then I did the this guy here, because I kind of tucked this one in afterwards. So I kind of built him coming off kind of in the same direction. I mean, it's not going to look the same as my first one because you kind of just play around and again, you can decide if you want to have different levels and do more foam tape and all that kind of stuff, go for it. It's just going to give you more dimension. And nice thing again about this glue is it doesn't dry right away, so you can kind of play with it. And once it's dry, then you can kind of pop these guys up too. So they don't necessarily have to be on foam tape, but they at least have the ability to be kind of, you know, bent up and that too, to give you the dimension. So then I added this one, again, coming off to the side. And I kind of just put it sort of on the stem near the bottom of the leaf. And kind of had it coming off to the side just like that. Everybody's okay. Yeah, the string I do at the right as soon as I was finished with this, and I'll show you how I did that to Helen. Okay, and then this one coming over like that. And again, feel free, use other ones, use these ones, whatever you want to do. Okay, and then I kind of poked this one in. So I had that all built. Actually, what I did was I put the little birdie on, and I put him on with a little piece of foam tape. Just like that. And then my little flower, where'd my flower go? My flower has gone missing. Oh, well. Oh, there he is. He was here somewhere. I put my flower on with double foam tape. So that way he could go over top of the birdie and just sort of built it up a little bit more. So I had it down sort of at the bottom. Actually, yeah, just like that. Okay. So again, once they're dry, you can be, you know, flipping these up, and you could always put a little bit of foam tape in behind if you wanted to have it built up a little bit more. And then this one was the last one I did, and I just put a little bit on the stem, and that way I could just tuck it in to where I had that kind of little hole left. And again, he would flip up. So just like that. And then you're going to take this, you're going to slide it in to wherever you'd like to have it and glue it down. Okay, and the twine. So what I did with my twine, and this is how I kind of do things. I've done this when I just add some twine to a card and that as well. So what I do is I kind of start on this edge, and that way with this flower being on foam tape, you can tuck it underneath. I wind it around, and I wind it around one more time. Okay, so I've got my top and my bottom, cut it, and then I just tied a little bow. If you wanted to have a knot, you could tie a knot. If you wanted to do it a different way, go for it. And you could just knot it and tie your little bow. I'm just going to knot it for now, just for time wise. And then, as you know, I do a ton with little wood buttons. I just stuck a little wood button. You could stick a gem in there, a gem, any kind of any kind of topper, an epoxy dot or whatever as well. And just to add that as your finishing touch. And then the photo, all I did was Max and put him down here. But again, a photo could go up here, or a sentiment, whatever you wanted to do. The inside, we're going to go on to the next one because I want to make sure that I get your cards done today. So these were the first pieces we cut, just like for the cover. Again, stick it together, and all you're going to do is glue that on the inside to cover that flap. So you don't see that flap. This is now blank, again, for another card, for a sentiment, for a little poem, whatever you wanted to put there. And then the only finishing touch I did on the inside of mine, right here, is I cut a tiny little square of paper. I think it was about 2.5 or 2 inches. Did it on a diagonal and stuck it here in the corner. I'll do that a lot if I'm putting, like, say it's somebody's 30th birthday or that, and I'll put a 30 on top of my pattern paper. And then I used one of the tiny little stickers that you have as well. The one that was here, I matted it and put it on there with some foam tape. And that, to me, it just finishes off the inside, but you don't need to. You could put another strip of paper. Like I say, you have lots available in this kit. So anyways, I think that is kind of a fun little idea. And I'll just keep that picture open all the time. No, just kidding. And then, but for like the holidays or any kind of occasion, I just think that's a fun little way of doing a little journaling book. But it is also a card. And I think it'll be really fun. And you can get even a little easel. You know, even the dollar stores and stuff have the easels that you can just prop it up to if you wanted to give it to somebody that you think they would rather have it, you know, standing as opposed to laying down. So that one is your card one, and it's kind of card one / project one is why I put that on the sheet. And again, I will also post the instructions and the picture of the card later on, either today or tomorrow. I'll do that, and you'll have that too, so you can follow along as well. So that's your first project for today. The little wooden buttons I have had people ask me about as well. I just get them at either your local craft store, or I get them at a dollar store, a little bag of them. To me, it just finishes it off, and especially if it is more of a natural look, which this one was, this whole project. So our next card is this one here. And again, these last two cards are very quick, so they're not going to take us long at all. Let me grab my instruction sheet for you too. Everybody's okay? Everyone was okay with the completion of that one, I hope? Good. Yeah, it was really fun. Like I say, that's kind of how I start working. And the next thing you know, it's like, okay, this could be a flap. And there we go. We'll take it from there. So I'll put the instructions over here for this as well. So we are going to cut a card base. I asked you to have some white cardstock, or if you have some pre-done cards from some of our kits from before. I just don't know about size-wise, but you can adapt it as well. So for our card base, you're going to cut a piece that is 5 3/4 this way. So vertical, I guess, or horizontal, I guess. So 5 3/4 by 9. Just like that. So 5 3/4 by 9 is the piece of cardstock that we're starting with, and we're going to score it in half at 4.5 inches. Okay, so that is our card base. I work with the Nina paper. It's my absolute favorite because it's 110 pound. But I know a lot of people work with different ones too. Marshmallow 12 by 12 from Basil is amazing. It's 110 as well. So any of those papers work really well. Okay, so now we are going to cut our 2 mats. And as you can see from this card, I don't know if you can see it close enough, I've done 2 brown mats. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I always tell people they can eliminate it. Sometimes I just like the depth of it, so I will do 2 of the same color. I'll do that in white. I'll do white on white, but you don't need to. It's totally up to you. If you want to do it, you totally can. So again, I was working with the bitter chocolate cardstock, and I cut 1 piece to 4 1/8. Oops, get back on my trimmer again. Again, I love it because it's all attached for me. So 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. 1, 2, 3. So just under 5 1/2 because our card base was 5 1/2. That is going to do, well, that's our small guy. Let me just make sure that I am right here. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is our bigger one. So you can do it either way. You could do the first one first, whichever one you want to do. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So 4 1/4. Everything's okay. Oh, look at that. Deanna has put on there that she has some wood buttons coming. See, I've started a trend. There we go. It is, like I say, to me, it's just a natural look without, you don't want to have the bling all the time. So that's why I just use them. So that's fantastic that we're going to get some here. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so that's what you can see there. 2 mats, very, very small outline of them. They don't have a lot of, there's not a lot on the outside, but I just like the depth of it. So that's how I do that. Then I had also asked you in homework to, surprise, surprise, do an embossed piece. I hope you guys are okay with me using embossing folders. My cards are almost always have an embossing folder on them. I just love them. And surprise, surprise, if Joe's watching, she will not be surprised at all. I use the Flower Frenzy from Spellbinders. I just think this is one of the best embossing folders, but you can use whatever you want. If you want dots, if you want anything, there's so many to choose from, which is fantastic. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to attach all 3 of these guys, and I did foam behind all of them. So again, up to you. If you want to do this one glue, this one on embossing or on foam, and then this onto foam, however you want to do it, I'll leave that completely up to you. I'm not going to put that together now, but the way that I did my base, this is on with foam, this is on with foam, and it's onto the card base with foam. So however you want to do it, to me, it just gives me my dimension, and I love having that. So it's entirely up to you. If you want to leave it more flat, if you're going to mail it, then you can do that as well. Okay, so the only other thing that we have to do for this card, once we've got that all stuck together, and like I say, I'll just leave that one up to you because I want to get through these with you as well, is cut a piece of this paper, this pretty floral paper that we had. You have a sheet of this in your kit, and you're going to cut a piece of this at, and that's what this is here. You can see it on the card. It's going across. So we are cutting this to where am I here? Cut a floral strip, 1.5. Go 1.5 by 3 7/8. So just a little bit before the 4. Okay, so just a small little strip. It's going to go there. Goes across your card, and we're going to mat that. So you've got lots of scrap left for your pieces that you've been cutting. Again, I'm working with the bitter chocolate, so it's all the same. And you're going to cut a piece of that 1 5/8, so just under 1 3/4 by 4. Okay, so that is forming the mat on your floral piece that we just cut a couple of seconds ago. And I attached that to my card with foam tape. So it popped it up a little bit, as you can see on my sample. So it just gives it that little bit of a dimension on there. And then we worked with the die cut that was in your kit, this pretty little pumpkin with the flowers coming out of it. And I attached it to my strip with foam tape off to the side. You could do it in the center, you could do it to the right, however you want to do it. And again, I'm not going to cut this because I don't want to waste it. If you don't want to, please don't. Use your own sentiment. But this was one of the other dies that was in the in your card kit, and it had the 3 words. So all I did was cut off the thankful and put foam tape in behind it and put it onto the pumpkin. You don't have to. You could put, thinking of you or however you want to do it. But this was a nice way. I love this font, so it was easy. And then you have 3 sentiments too that you could use on other cards as well. And then if any of you were in the So Happy Crafty Hour, I know a lot of you have been doing Crafty Hours now for a while. You got these tiny little flower die cuts that came in your kit. So I just went back and used this cute little kind of daisy one, and I used a piece of the, what's the name of it? Coffee Cream, which is by Basil, Coffee Cream. I cut 3 little flowers and just attached them with glue. You could add them with foam tape. I just attached 3 of them with glue to the little floral outside of the on there. And I also cut a tiny little strip of the cardstock and stuck it underneath the pumpkin. So then I could, of course, attach another little wood button. But you don't need to. That little pumpkin could just sit right in the center and you wouldn't even have to worry about that. But it just adds a little bit of dimension and a little bit of extra, I don't know, pizzazz, if you want to say that, to your card. I just like adding, I do strips off to the side quite a bit, and I can add a gem or a button or whatever to the side as well. So that is how we finish that card. So I'm going to just leave that one because again, it's pretty well, it's just step by step, and I will again leave you with the instructions and the fact that I used the little die cutted the 3 flowers from the kit, the other Crafty Hour, and any other information. It's all on your printed directions here. So that's your number 2 card. And again, I think simple, but it had a lot of nice dimension to it. And then this one is your number 3 card. And again, we are working with these gorgeous die cuts and another embossing folder, of course. This one is I called it Thankful for You because I used the sticker off your little sticker sheet that you were given. And all I did with that is I just put foam tape in behind it, and it stuck just fine when I added the sentiment afterwards. But my card base, I just wanted to let you know about the card base. Again, these are included in your card kit. I love this navy. It is beautiful, and it's such a nice weight. So that is the card base. So you didn't need to have to worry about getting another card base or anything. All I did was cut it down. I didn't want it to be a 6x6 card, so I just cut it to size. So all I did for this one is I cut it 4.5 inches wide. So again, my fold is over here. If you want to do it this way, you can. But the way I did it with it opening up like that on the flap. So I cut it to 4.5 inches across. And I would keep this blue because it's just such a nice navy. And I did 5.25. So I just cut it down from the 6x6. But it gave us an option of being able to use these card bases to whatever size we wanted to, which is just great. And then I had asked you to, again, do an embossing folder. And we cut it to 4.25 by 5. So just like that. Yeah, so that's great. I think Courtney might be commenting on here right now about the So Happy that had those little dies. Clipper Street also has some of the So Happy kits available here in store too. And that little die is just, like I say, I use it all the time because it's a great add-on. And we have samples in store, and there would have been samples posted too with other cards that were made for that So Happy. So go ahead and take a look at that too. Maybe something that you're interested in. So all I did with this one is I put foam tape in behind it and attached it to my card. So I didn't mat it or anything because I wanted to see this beautiful navy in behind. I took a strip of this paper, which I believe is also in the card kit. So you're not taking away from your extra pieces that you were given. And all I did was this is I cut a strip that was 1.5 by 4 7/8, just like that. And I put it off to the side and I glued it directly onto my embossing folder. My embossing folder, I can't remember if I said or not, I put on with foam tape just so it popped it up a little bit. And then again, I just played with these gorgeous Simple Story die cuts that we were given in this kit. And the other nice thing about this class, this Crafty Hour, is that you received 2 packs of all of these. So it didn't matter which ones I was using, which one Courtney was going to use. We knew that we could design however we wanted to, and it gave you a ton of extras because you've got leftover from the ones I've used and the ones that Courtney will use as well. So it's fantastic. So I think I also put it on here. I did. So building the topper, I've got on your directions sheet here that I attached the 2 medium multi-florals together with foam tape. So I took this one and I put it on with foam tape, and I took this one, when I say multi-florals, that's what I kind of meant, on there with foam tape. So I just had it kind of, they go on a diagonal, and again, have them come off your card as much as you want, however you want to have it. And again, if you want to have them flat, do them flat, whatever you'd prefer. And then I attached the little butterfly with foam tape on top and tucked the cute little tulips just sort of in the top. Wherever you have a space that you kind of think, oh, that kind of looks like there's a little bit of a hole, tuck that little guy in there just with glue, and he will go in there as well. I added the 2 gold gems on this one too. And the gold gems are the fashion gold gems from Spellbinders. I love them. They come in all kinds of sizes. The 2 that I used are the bigger of the 2 gold gems. And again, the Thankful for You is just one of your little stickers off of your sheet that you have. And all I did was put some foam tape in behind. You could mat that if you wanted to. You were left over with this navy from cutting off the card. So you could mat the sentiment, or again, use your own sentiment. You don't need to use the sticker. Whichever you'd prefer to use, go for it. You've got the options available to you. So I will let you put that one together as well. And again, like I say, I'll be posting it with the picture and the directions. So yeah, so I hope you loved those cards. I was very happy with them when I got them done. I just want to make mention that I will also be posting, I'll show these to you kind of quick. I will be posting a couple of inspiration cards. This being one of them here. See, they say inspiration. There you go. This being one of them here. Again, using the die cuts and the paper. And also, this is another one. And this embossing folder, this is the Spellbinders Autumn Serenade embossing folder. It is just amazing. I don't know if you can see this. I used the coffee cream cardstock from Basil and embossed on it. It is absolutely beautiful to emboss with. So all I did was cover up the hole, because it does have a little hole in it, which is great if you want to put your sentiment, you want that blank, but I just sort of covered it up again with the die cuts. And there will be full instructions for both of these cards. And the embossing folders I used. I used the Autumn Serenade, I used the butterfly one. Spellbinder embossing folders are my absolute favorite. You'll see me use them all the time. One more mention I have to make. This paper I did not play with. Your metallic paper, you've got a ton of this beautiful metallic paper. I just didn't use it in my card samples, but you can play around. And last night, because we got a lot of these embossing folders in yesterday that a lot of people have pre-ordered, and I'm sure we can still get more of them, the Basket of Sunflowers. So it's a slim line embossing folder. And I thought, I'm going to try this on the foil. Well, look at this. This is just absolutely amazing. Can you see the dimension and that in this? It's gorgeous. And it just went through the machine like butter. It was no problem. I matted it onto white cardstock just so that it gave me my stability for it. But it is absolutely beautiful. So if you're looking at one of these, if you haven't got it, reach out to Courtney, reach out to us, and I'm sure we'd be able to still get one for you. It is, and use your other ones too. Use that Autumn Serenade or the floral one that I use all the time. It is gorgeous, and you've got all of these different ones here to be able to use with that paper. So play around with that. And we still have some extras too. We have this pad of this metallic paper that we are using. So you get the whole pad of that. It is $7.99 and 10% off that. We still have some of the 6x6 extra pads. So you'd be able to make a whole whack more of cards and that too. And it is the same, $7.99, and you would get 10% off. And we have some of the die cuts, and I did not price that. But anyways, we have some packs of those still available too. So if you're looking for them, reach out. I'm not sure how Courtney's supply is of these, but Clipper Street definitely has these available, and they would be 10% off. The other thing you got, and I didn't play with, was this amazing whole little package of washi. Like, think of this for your envelopes, covering a a box and putting a beautiful card inside it. Anything. Washi tape is amazing. And to be able to be given, excuse me, 4 rolls of washi tape that match your papers and that you have. Incredible. The value of this kit is crazy. And the last thing I'm just going to mention, we got these yesterday. This is a waffle flower stamp and die cut. And look at this. Like, how awesome would this be to be able to go? Can you see that? It's kind of hitting the glossy. There we go. A little bit better. How awesome would it be to be able to stamp your leaves and die cut them and add those to your cards and that too. So we do have some of these still available, and I'm sure if we run out, we can get more of them too. I think it's $26.99, and I believe it's on 10% off until today as well. So anyways, that is it for me. Oh, look at that. Just about 11 o'clock. How exciting is that? I'm getting better, guys. I want to thank all of you for being with me once again. I will be doing the next Crafty Hour, which is in 2 weeks from today. It is the gnome one from Hunky Dory. I'm already creating with that one. That one is so much fun. I just love it. So that one will be a lot of fun. So that one will be 2 weeks today. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, Diane will be releasing or coming out with the brand new Crafty Hour that will be after that one on the 26th. I'm not exactly sure of the date, but you will find out tomorrow when you tune in to her at 9 a.m. I don't even know which one it is. I see so many. I'm never sure which one she's going to to spring out on us, but it's going to be great. It's going to be a really fun one. And I know that one, I believe, is completely sold out too. So everybody loves gnomes, let me tell you. So that one is fun. So we'll be working with that too in a couple of weeks. And I think that is it. I can't think of anything else. I want to thank you once again for joining me. I hope you're happy with the fact that I don't go too slow, too fast. I always appreciate your comments, and it is a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying being able to do this with you, and we will talk to you soon. So have a lovely day. I hope you're having the beautiful weather we're having here, and I will see you in a couple of weeks, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Okay, thanks so much. Have a great day.